Education. If I can get a motion for to accept and approve the internal audit report for 2024-25 and internal audit work plan for June 30th, 2026. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Jen, thank you.
I'll second.
Oh, third time. I'll go, Kristen, second, thank you. All right. Discussion. Any discussion?
Very busy next couple weeks in September. So just a couple of general reminders. Lots of new student orientations. We had middle school last week. We've got freshmen tomorrow. Next week, we welcome back all of our staff on September 2nd and 3rd for our professional development days. And then we welcome back all of our students on the 4th. So it'll be a short week, 4th and 5th, but we're going to be off and running. I would encourage everyone to take a look at the district calendar. Everyone should have received a printed copy in their homes, which has a great deal of the events that are on there. But if you go to our website, there is a list of everything that's going on throughout the district over the next few months. Again, all of our open houses are scheduled and ready to go. Athletics, actually there's tennis outside right now competing today. It's just incredible how quickly things move when we get back into September. A couple of updates just on our facilities front. So when we're talking about some of our construction, there's not a lot of significant construction this summer. There'll be a great deal more next summer, which will be much more disruptive. But this summer, we've got the tennis courts, pickleball court, and basketball courts over at the middle school. Blacktop is down, poles for the fencing is up. We will have fencing kind of completed over in September. That blacktop will remain unsealed throughout the winter. We want that to off gas before we put in the permanent surfacing. That'll happen in the spring. So that'll happen this spring. There is some road repair going on at the transportation center, that main drive, and also the middle school. Again, it's just enough to get us through this winter. We don't want any small cars being swallowed up by the potholes, so we did have to address some of those larger areas. So that is being addressed this summer as well. You might remember we have the emergency project for the two elevators at Fitzhugh Park and Kingsford Park. We coupled that with some of our phase 1 work of the 2024 project. So the elevators are installed. We expect them to be up and running for the first week of school. We are a little bit behind on those. It's actually because of some electrical pieces that are actually a part of the 24 project. So we're going to get them up and running, and then we're going to finish out that work throughout the fall. But we do plan on having those up and running. We have generator work going on at all of the buildings. That'll happen. Some of that work will happen throughout the fall and be completed by spring. We have boilers that are installed, brand new boilers at Riley. Those will be up and running for the winter season. We also anticipate having Layton done by the time we get into heating season as well. We will be doing the Layton boilers during the school year. There are 2 boilers, so we'll be taking one offline and installing the 3 boilers actually on the same pad as one boiler that is currently. So we'll have the main heating plant updated and much more efficient as a result of trying to get some of that 24 project work done a little bit earlier. EPC work is just about finished, so that's lighting upgrades and a number of other items throughout the district, but there is some more work there to be finished up. Our custodial and maintenance crews are working really overtime and overdrive to try to get our buildings ready. Whether it's waxing floors, taking care of the general grounds. We did run into an issue this year, and it's actually a similar issue that we've had previously, and the 24 project will help address this issue here for the high school, but it's an ongoing issue that really is quite visual and impactful to not only our athletic program, but also our PE classes as well. Our gym floors were all done a number of years ago with an oil-based product. a number of years ago, New York State passed a law that required new sealants to be lower VOC, which is a water-based product. They don't mix well together, so they're not adhering well. And so we've really struggled this year. Not only us, but a couple of other districts around us have been struggling to get those finishes to adhere at all. And so we actually just shut down Layton Gym again after we've already sealed it twice and it's failed, to try one last time to see if we can get that to take before students return to us next week. So that gym is sealed off and we won't look at it until September 2nd at the earliest, because we want to make sure there's no air infiltration in there while it's curing, in the hopes that it sets up. Next year, next summer, we will likely start that 24 project, which includes the 2 gyms are completely being resurfaced. So when we are able to completely resurface the floor, whether we're replacing the floor entirely or whether we're able to resurface, meaning bring it all the way down to bare wood, we will be putting down a water-based sealant on it from the get-go. And so we won't have those same issues as we're able to address these gyms along the way. But because of some of the problems that we're having, we may have to address some of our other gyms a little bit sooner than we had hoped. So we are looking at the possibility of, well, what happens if the sealant doesn't take again at Layton? What are we going to do? Well, we may have to shut the gym down and resurface it, take it all the way down to bare wood and repaint lines. And because, again, what it comes down to, it's not just what it looks like. It also needs to be safe. It needs to be safe for play. So what happens is when we have a sealant that doesn't necessarily adhere together, you might have sealant coming off in sheets, or you might have very, very slick areas in some places, and you might have some very rough areas in others. That's not safe play. So when we've got athletes running full out, they should expect a consistent playing surface, especially in a gym. When you're out on the grass, it's a little bit different. But those are things that we're constantly being mindful of to make sure we're providing the best facilities for our not only our athletes, but for all of our students. So a big kudos to all of the custodians, all of our maintenance crew working really hard to try to make sure our campuses are ready to open and welcome our kids and staff.
So can I ask, what about, I think it's referred to as the new gym, which is always so funny to me because it's an old gym. I was in the new gym last night, and the condition that I know exists at Layton from last year's observations is clearly the condition right now in the new gym, which is a combination of chipping flakes coming off from the new sealant, slick spots, and rough spots. So are we going to do something about the new gym, or are we just focusing on Layton right now?
Well, right now we're focusing on Layton. I don't have an update on the gym that you're referring to. And again, that gym is a part of the 24 project. So that will be completely taken care of in the 24 project. But I don't have an update on any current issues with it.
Yeah, when you mentioned the 24 project, I was just gonna add for clarification that you mean the 2 gyms in the high school.
Both gyms in the high school. Yep. Yep.
And can you speak to the parallel paths? Like, we're waiting till September 2nd to open the doors and seeing about how it adhered. But are we working on setting up the scenario if we need to, with reaching out to people, scheduling? What does all that look like?
That'll be a mess. So what we've done is we've reached out to contractors to see who's available. Because again, that's not something that we can do. It's a specialty, and so it really comes down to who's available and when. And then the question is can we make that fit within our schedule? And all of those are really up in the air right now. But I'm hoping every day that seals beautifully, and then we'll make it through another season. And then what we may need to do is we may need to, if we're lucky enough for it to work and adhere to get us through the year, we do need to prioritize trying to get that floor done, hopefully next summer. It wasn't part of the plan. It wasn't part of the 24 project, but now we're faced with the condition that we need to address. And so we got to look at all the possibilities to see what makes the most sense for the facility.
Greg, going back to the beginning of the report, you mentioned the word you mentioned the work at the middle school, and before that, you mentioned that a lot of the stuff that's visible next summer, like the campuses, especially out here on Buccaneer Boulevard, are going to be up in the air. Can you, for everybody listening and paying attention, can you connect why we did what we did at the middle school with the tennis courts in anticipation of the tennis courts down here next
Oh,
fall?
sure.
You know, I mean, that
Yeah.
why I had a couple people ask me.
Why do we add tennis courts at the middle school?
Right.
Perfect. So there are currently 3, and we added 3 more. So that gives us 6 courts out the middle school. One, it expands area for physical education, right? That's always a piece of it. But it's also, it gives us an alternate venue for scholastic tennis, right? For both men and women's tennis. So when we start on, and this is where it gets confusing. And so my hope is that you've all kept your newsletter that came home in August, because it has a nice timeline, because we're looking at so many different projects all overlaying each other. We have the 2018 project going on the exact same time as the 2024 project. So the 2018 project, phase 4, is all of Buck Boulevard, Layton Lot, Layton Playground. There's a number of site conditions that were specific to the 2018 project. Well, one of those things is it's completely removal of the tennis courts where they currently are, and a shift and a rebuild. So we'll have tennis courts, pickleball courts, an updated basketball court, parking lot, bus loop, expanded or redesign of Buccaneer Boulevard, Liberty Lot, renovation as well. But that project in and of itself is going to take more than one summer. That's going to take a couple of summers when you think about the amount of work. And it's going to be incredibly disruptive, right? We're not going to have really much of anything going on these campuses when you've got that much work that might be going on. So, and we also know it will likely also have an impact not only during just summer months, but it could impact May, June, could impact into September. So if we don't have a place for our student athletes, then we're going to be looking off-site, different school districts. So this also allows us the opportunity for our tennis program to have home contests. They'll just be over at the middle school. Yep.
Anything else? No? Thank you, Dr. Kilmer.
You bet.
And we're going to move on. I apologize for not asking ahead of time, but committee discussions, I'll go round robin and see. Audit committee? You have any discussion? Would you like to, Jen?
We met on August 18th, and we reviewed the internal audit, and there was no recommendation for corrective action. And we went over to choose what we were going to be looking at next year. So we picked payroll and federal funds for the next year's audit. And our next meeting will be when the external audit is complete. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you. Community relations, we talked about.
Nothing this time, but either the next meeting or the meeting after, we definitely will.
Excellent. And facilities?
Please accept the superintendent's report as the facilities report.
Thank you, Dr. Kilmer.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Policy?
Yeah, we had a policy meeting since our last board meeting. The most significant thing that we talked about was we were going to solicit a proposal from New York State School Board Association to be our source for policy updates. Currently, our source is Erie One BOCES. And we'd like to be able to compare the two services, make sure that we're getting the service that provides us with the most benefit. Not that our decision is already made, but if you're wondering what's the difference between the two, the most obvious difference is that Erie One policies tend to be a lot more wordy than New York State Bar Association, or School Board Association, sorry, talking about my job. School Board Association policies tend to be a little tighter, and actually we spent the last year tightening up a lot of our policies, so at least on face value, it might seem like the School Board Association might be a better fit for us, but we're going to get more information from them, perhaps have a presentation, and then make a recommendation on how we think we should go forward.
Thank you, Kristen. Tim?
Nothing
Visitation?
to report yet.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, just real quick, one
Yes.
thing that I failed to mention, just related to facilities, there's two quick things. So We plan to be going out to bid on the 2018 project. This fall, we are going to be submitting Phase 2 of the 24 project next week, I believe. It's either next week or the week after. We expect a relatively quick turnaround, so likely we will be going to bid for not only the 2018 Phase 4 project, but also the 2024 project at about the same time. And so that's actually a good thing because that allows us then to add the coordination piece between those two projects because it's not as if there's not work being done here at the high school. This library media center is going to be something that's going to be done, and then also we have the technology suite. So there will have to be some significant coordination between those two projects. So timeline, while it will be a lot, timeline is actually meeting up, I think, and will be positive for us.
Something that I've learned, like you talked about the two different capital projects and going out this fall, that this is the best time for us to get bids out. I mean, sometimes you might, in the past years, we'd throw a bid out in December or it would be terrible in June because everybody's so busy and they don't have the time to allocate to look and kind of look at their planning. So as they wrap up their busy work over the summer months when they're doing outdoor work, then they start to see bids come in the fall. We're on a good cycle. My point is that we should be on a good cycle as far as sending our bids out.
Great, thank you. So moving on to the consent agenda, we have 2 items, Special Education and Student Services Board Report of August 26th, and minutes of the Board of Education public hearing, regular meeting on August 5th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
Move to accept.
Thank you, Tim. And a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you, Sean. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 7-0. Moving on to personnel, and if without objection, I would like to group A through O and personnel, if I could do that. A through O, and if I could get a motion for that.
I'll move.
Thank you, Julie. A second? Thank you, Jen. And though we don't discuss personnel, or it's one of the things that we don't tend to do, there is one note that I wanted to make, which was our professional staff retirement. It's A, and that's for Sherry Defoe, who's been an elementary teacher in the district since September 1st, 2014, and she'll be retiring. And we'd just like to make notice of that. Thank her for her years of connection and teaching to the students and to the district as a whole. So thank you very much. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It carries 7-0. Then move on to finance. Finance, if again, without objection, I would like to group A through F. Do F separate? I will do that. I will do A through E. Can I get a motion for A through E?
I'll move.
Thank you, Kristen. A second, please. Thank you, Sean. Okay, any discussion? I just wanted to note 2 things. Our MOU with SUNY Oswego and the Oswego Country Club season agreement, just for the idea of the partnerships within the community that we have and the opportunities that it gives our kids, particularly with Oswego State, where they can have beginning and intermediate concurrent courses, and it's something that we offer, and just to let people know some of the benefits of that. So I just wanted to make mention of that. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Now, if we move on to F, can I get a motion for F, which is a letter of recommendation to approve BRG Group as general construction contractor? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Julie, thank you. Second. Sean, thank you very much. Second. Discussion.
Again, we opened up these bids last week. We had 5 bidders, which was an excellent showing for bidders on these types of projects. So we're excited to be able to get all of the work done in the base bid, which was, again, additional doors continuation on what we had done at Riley under the 24-25 capital project, and then also finally the replacement of the flagpole in front of Riley as well. All of that is included within this bid.
Excellent. Anything else? No, thank you about the flagpole. I think it's a simple thing, but again, it's one of those little micro wins, and I'll take it. It's impressive. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And we move on to item 10, items from the board.
Yeah, the micro wins, I just want to share, I think it was a little bit over a couple weeks ago. I mean, we started doing watering to the practice fields. And somebody sent me a text message saying that there was a leak. You know, we hook up right to the fire hydrant, metered in and everything, and they saw that we were leaking. There was a significant water leak over at that point where we hook up to the sprinkler. And so I immediately reached out to Pete, who was at one of the different schools. But definitely within 2 hours, we had the crew down there to fix the leak so that we weren't being wasteful of metered water. And I just thought that, in years past, it seemed very difficult to get that type of response out of the school district. So I was happy that we, number one, got community input, like that we're listening. I mean, but it starts with our community members giving us some direction and maybe some things that we don't notice, but how we responded quickly, I thought that was really good, and I think that we should look forward to more community input like that. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to add that I was at the practice fields last night for a game for the girls JV, and given the amount of rain or lack thereof that we've had this year, that field is beautifully green. So kudos to the buildings and grounds. That really looks fabulous. And it was really a beautiful place. I had obviously not been there before till last night. Was it the first game on that field? It was?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And also I wanted to follow up on, in the spring, we had approved some time in the weight room for the athletic trainer to work with student athletes. And I just wanted to see if there was any follow-up on that. Like, I'm just really interested in knowing if students took advantage of that, how coaches felt. I was really excited to see that we were able to offer that, but I've never really heard much buzz about it. So I just wanted to follow up and see how that went. And you might not know the answer now.
I don't, but I'll get an update
Okay.
from Cindy and
That'd be
report
great.
back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Sean?
The Buck Boosters Golf Tournament is Saturday, September 20th. It's at the Oswego Country Club. Tee-off time is 1 o'clock. You can go to their Facebook page or their Instagram page to get the application, or contact me if you want one emailed or texted to you. And if any parents or coaches have any pictures of sports, they can send them to me too, to put on their socials as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else?
This is it for me. But I was talking with Tom, and I just wanted to bring it to the other board members for consideration. Certainly with Tom, throughout Oswego County, throughout the state, a lot of times he funnels information, back to us so that we can become better educated on NISBA and some of the things that are going on. But as we move forward and just sustainability of communication and information from outside of our school district, I think something I would ask our board members to consider is maybe adding an agenda item that is somewhat like a board president report. Also, he or she in the future might get information from us that might be best coming from the board president at the time. So it's not necessarily just for this year, but like moving forward in that communication, out to the public, out loud while we're having our meetings, somewhat consolidated through the board president. So I just wanted to bring that up, and if there's any immediate thoughts, or maybe we can just think on it until our next board meeting and talk about it. But
I had, actually a couple of things. One is, when I first got on, we had a little and I think it only happened the first year I was on. It was end of year, our meeting was at the cafeteria, and we brought in all the retirees from the district, the teachers, every grounds crew, anyone who was in the district and celebrated them in acknowledgements. And I'd love to be able to bring that back if we can and do it at the end of the year. I think that would be a nice thing. I don't know why we got away from it. I think COVID may have had something to do with it, but it would be great to bring that back. On the other front, our retreat on the 16th, there was a switch, and now we do have one of the better presenters who's going to be with us, which is great. And think about it, in the interim, we'll have to decide about what we're going to eat prior to that. The important stuff. But we'll think about that, and we'll be able to put an order in and come in and have dinner. It'll be about, plan on 5:30 to 8:30 in that evening, and it should be a good presentation from NISBA. So that's all I have. Yes?
There's one thing that I forgot. I know this is for the board, so excuse me. I just wanted to, I received a letter today from the Syracuse Brigadiers Alumni Association. The Syracuse Brigadiers is a local senior drum corps. They've been around for forever, but they sent a letter really thanking the Oswego Marching Band, the director, Kim Miller, and the district for hosting the Boston Crusaders. I know for many of us that were able to watch them, that was really a wonderful event for us to have them here. And I don't know if you noticed, but they actually won the World Championships this year in Indianapolis, which was really, really incredible. So it was great to have them. But I bring it up because in recognition of Ms. Miller, the Oswego Marching Band Boosters, and Oswego for hosting the Boston Crusaders, that group donated $4,000 to the Oswego Marching Band Boosters. So again, it goes to show that while it was a big lift for the marching band boosters here, for our facilities crew, for our incredible music staff, there's lots of great groups across the region who really were grateful for that opportunity. So I just wanted to, again, thank the Syracuse Brigadiers, but also for our community for hosting them.
Excellent. And there is a need for an executive session, but there will not be a need for a vote, correct? All right. Can I get a motion then to move to executive session? Thank you, Julie. And a second? Tim, thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.